My doctor called me on a Tuesday afternoon and told me not to go home. I was sitting in the parking lot of a Panera Bread, eating a Caesar salad and scrolling through emails on my phone. The appointment had been routine, annual physical, blood work, the kind of preventative care my mother had drilled into me since childhood. Nothing to worry about. Then my phone rang with Dr. Patterson's number. "Mrs. Morrison? This is Dr. Patterson. I need to speak with you urgently about your blood work results." "Is something wrong?" A pause. The kind of pause that tells you something is very wrong. "Where are you right now?" "In a parking lot. I just grabbed lunch before heading home." "Good. Stay there. Don't go home." I left, a nervous, confused sound. "What?" "Why? My husband is sweet. He's probably making dinner right now." "Mrs. Morrison, I need you to listen to me very carefully." Dr. Patterson's voice was steady but urgent. "Your blood work showed something that shouldn't be there. Something that doesn't appear naturally in a human body." The salad suddenly tasted like cardboard. "What are you talking about?" "We found traces of ethylene glycol in your system." "Do you know what that is?" "No. It's antifreeze. Someone has been putting antifreeze in your food or drinks." The parking lot tilted. The cars around me blurred. I gripped the steering wheel to steady myself. That's not possible. The levels are low, which is actually good news because it means the exposure has been gradual rather than acute. But Mrs. Morrison, if you had continued ingesting it at this rate, you would have experienced kidney failure within weeks, possibly death within a month. Someone is trying to kill me? Someone is trying to make it look like natural organ failure. This is a sophisticated poisoning method. Whoever is doing this knows what they're doing. I sat in silence, my mind racing. "Mrs. Morrison, I've already contacted the police. They're going to want to speak with you. But right now, I need you to promise me something." "What?" "Don't go home. Don't eat or drink anything your husband prepares. Go somewhere public, somewhere safe, and wait for the authorities to contact you." "My husband wouldn't. I'm not saying he would. But until we know who has access to your food, you need to treat everyone as a potential suspect. Everyone." I ended the call with shaking hands. Someone was poisoning me. Someone I trusted enough to let them near my food. Someone who wanted me dead badly enough to do it slowly, carefully, in a way that would look like natural causes. My name is Vivian Okafor Morrison. I am 36 years old. I was born in Asheville, North Carolina, the daughter of Nigerian immigrants who built a successful medical equipment distribution company from a small warehouse into a business worth $127 million. I am the sole heir to that fortune. And someone in my life had decided they would rather have my money than have me alive. The question was, who? I need to tell you about the people who had access to my food. My husband, Derek Morrison. We had been married for 4 years. He was a financial advisor, charming, attentive, the kind of man who remembered anniversaries and brought flowers for no reason. He did most of the cooking because he enjoyed it, and I was happy to let him. He had access to everything I ate and drank. My sister, Brianna Okafor. She was 2 years older than me, and our relationship had always been complicated. She had been the golden child, smarter, more ambitious, more favored by our parents, until our father's will was read and everything went to me. She had contested it unsuccessfully, and our relationship had been strained ever since. She visited regularly. She brought food. She made tea. She had been at my house yesterday. My mother-in-law, Eleanor Morrison. She had never approved of me, too dark, too foreign, too successful for her son. She visited every Sunday for dinner, always bringing a dish from her kitchen because she didn't trust my cooking. She had brought a casserole 3 days ago. 3 people with access. 3 people with potential motive. One of them was trying to kill me. I sat in that parking lot for 45 minutes, my mind cycling through possibilities. Derek, my husband, the man I slept beside every night, the man who kissed my forehead every morning. The man who had seemed so happy when we married, so eager to build a life together. But I remembered something now, something I had dismissed at the time. When we first started dating, I had been cautious about mentioning my family's wealth. I had learned from experience that money changed how people saw you. So I had downplayed it, lived modestly, let Derek think I was comfortable but not rich. He had proposed after 8 months. The day after our engagement, I had finally told him the truth about my inheritance. His reaction had been strange. He had laughed, hugged me, told me it didn't matter to him. But his eyes had changed. Just for a moment. Just long enough for me to notice and then convince myself I had imagined it. Had I imagined it? Or had I seen the first glimpse of who Derek really was? Brianna, my sister, the woman who had held my hand at our father's funeral, who had promised we would always be family despite the will, who had seemed to accept the situation even though I knew it hurt her. But she hadn't accepted it. Not really. She had contested the will, claiming our father wasn't in his right mind, claiming I had manipulated him, claiming the inheritance should be split equally. She had lost. Our father's lawyers had anticipated challenges and made his wishes ironclad, but the bitterness remained. Every time she visited, there was an edge to her smile. Every time she brought food, there was something in her eyes I couldn't quite read. She had been at my house yesterday. She had made tea. She had insisted I drink it. I had drunk 2 cups. Eleanor, my mother-in-law, the woman who looked at me like I was something her son had tracked in on his shoe. The woman who made comments about my exotic background and asked when I was going to give her real grandchildren, as if my Nigerian heritage somehow made my future children less legitimate. She hated me. That much was clear. But did she hate me enough to kill me? Or was she simply cruel, not criminal? I didn't know. I didn't know anything anymore. The police arrived within the hour. Detective Sarah Chin was a small woman with sharp eyes and an efficient manner. She found me in the Panera parking lot, exactly where I had told them I would be, and conducted the initial interview in her unmarked car. Mrs. Morrison, I know this is difficult, but I need you to walk me through everyone who has had access to your food in the past month. I told her about Derek, about Brianna, about Eleanor. I told her about the cooking, the visits, the casseroles. I told her about the tea my sister had made yesterday. Your sister was at your house yesterday? Making tea. Yes. She stopped by unannounced. Said she was in the neighborhood. Is that unusual? Not really. She drops by sometimes. We're working on our relationship. And she made tea. She insisted. Said I looked tired, that I needed to relax. Detective Chen's expression remained neutral, but I could see her filing this information away. Mrs. Morrison, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be completely honest with me. Of course. Is there anyone who would benefit financially from your death? I thought about the question. My husband. We have joint accounts, and he's the beneficiary on my life insurance. How much is the life insurance? $2 million. And the joint accounts? Approximately $3 million in liquid assets. Plus the house, which is in both our names. And my share of my parents' company. Your share of the company, how much is that worth? If I die, my shares go to Derek per our prenuptial agreement. They're worth approximately $68 million. Detective Chen's eyebrows rose slightly. $68 million. Yes. Anyone else who would benefit? My sister. If I die without children, and if Derek dies or is convicted of a crime related to my death, the company's shares revert to her per my father's will. It was his way of ensuring the company stayed in the family. So if both you and your husband were out of the picture, your sister would inherit everything? I hadn't thought of it that way before. But she was right. If Derek killed me, he would get the money. But if Derek killed me and then was caught, Brianna would get everything. Was it possible they were working together? Was it possible the 2 people I trusted most had conspired to murder me? The thought was too horrible to contemplate. But I couldn't stop contemplating it. Detective Chen arranged for me to stay at a hotel while they investigated. I checked in under a false name, paid cash, and sat in a room that smelled like industrial cleaner, trying to make sense of what was happening. My phone buzzed constantly. Derek, wondering where I was. Brianna, asking if we were still on for lunch tomorrow. Eleanor, complaining about something irrelevant. I didn't answer any of them. Instead, I did what my father had taught me to do in a crisis. I gathered information. I logged into our financial accounts from my phone. I pulled up transaction histories, looking for anything unusual. And I found something. 3 months ago, Derek had made a purchase at a hardware store for $47.83. The description just said misc supplies. That could be anything. But I kept looking. 2 months ago, he had made another purchase at the same hardware store. $52.16. Miscellaneous supplies. 1 month ago, a third purchase. $49.99. Miscellaneous supplies. The same store. Similar amounts. 3 times in 3 months. I Googled the store and pulled up their inventory. They sold antifreeze. My hands were shaking as I screenshot the transactions. This wasn't proof. Not yet. But it was evidence. Evidence that my husband might be the one trying to kill me. But there was more. I pulled up Derek's email. We had shared passwords since we got married, a sign of trust that now felt like a trap. I searched for the hardware store name. Nothing. I searched for antifreeze. Nothing. I searched for my sister's name and found 47 emails. 47 emails between my husband and my sister, spanning the past 8 months. Some were mundane, coordinating surprise parties, discussing birthday gifts. But some were not. One from 3 months ago. The first dose is in. She won't notice anything yet, but we need to be patient. One from 2 months ago. She's been tired lately. It's working. We just need to maintain the schedule. One from 1 month ago. She saw a doctor last week. We need to be more careful. Smaller doses, more frequently. And one from yesterday, the day Brianna had stopped by unannounced. I added extra to the tea. She drank 2 cups. By next month, it should look like natural kidney failure. Then we wait 6 months, get married, and inherit everything. I love you. I love you. My husband and my sister. Together. Planning my murder. For money. For each other. For a future built on my corpse. I sat in that hotel room and felt something inside me shatter. Then I felt it rebuild. Harder. Colder. More determined. They wanted to kill me for my money? They were going to learn what happened when you underestimated an Okafor woman. I forwarded every email to Detective Chin. Then I called my lawyer. Then I called my father's oldest friend, a man who had helped build the company and who now sat on its board of directors. Uncle David, I need your help. Vivian? What's wrong? My husband and sister are trying to kill me. I need you to help me make sure they don't get a single cent. The investigation moved quickly after that. The emails were damning, but the police needed more. They needed physical evidence. They needed to prove that the antifreeze I had been ingesting came from Derek's purchases. They got a warrant for our house. In the garage, they found 3 bottles of antifreeze, 2 empty, 1 half full. The same brand sold at the hardware store where Derek had made his misc supplies purchases. In the kitchen, they found traces of ethylene glycol in the sugar container. I took sugar in my coffee every morning. Derek knew that. In Derek's home office, they found a notebook with handwritten calculations, dosage amounts, timeline projections, notes on how long it would take for the illness to become fatal. And at the bottom of the last page, a single sentence. B says she'll handle the tea when she visits. Double dose. B. Brianna, my sister, who had made me tea yesterday and watched me drink it with a smile on her face. The arrests happened simultaneously, Derek at his office, Brianna at her apartment. I wasn't there to see it, but Detective Chin described it to me later. Derek had cried, had protested his innocence, had claimed the emails were fabricated, the antifreeze was for his car, the notebook was for a novel he was writing. No one believed him. Brianna had been calmer, colder. She had asked for a lawyer immediately and said nothing else. But her silence didn't matter. The evidence spoke loud enough for both of them. My lawyer worked around the clock for the next week. The prenuptial agreement Derek had signed when we married included a clause standard in wealthy families that forfeited all marital assets in the event of criminal activity against a spouse. Derek was going to get nothing. Not the life insurance. Not the joint accounts. Not my share of the company. Nothing. My father's will was more complicated, but Uncle David and the board of directors found a solution. A clause buried deep in the corporate bylaws allowed for the removal of any beneficiary who had been convicted of a crime against a primary shareholder. Brianna was going to be removed from the line of succession entirely. Everything my father had built, Everything she had tried to kill me to obtain would stay in my hands. And eventually, when I was ready, it would go to children I would raise to be better than the family I had been cursed with. The trial was 6 months later. I attended every day, sitting in the front row, watching as the prosecution laid out the case against my husband and my sister. The emails, the purchases, the notebook, the antifreeze in my sugar, the elevated levels in my blood. The timeline that showed they had been planning my murder for at least 8 months, starting just weeks after my father died and his will was read. Derek's defense was that Brianna had manipulated him, that he had been weak, not evil, that he had never really wanted me dead, just wanted to make Brianna happy. Brianna's defense was that Derek had manipulated her, that her grief over our father's death had made her vulnerable, that she had never really wanted me dead, just wanted what she felt was rightfully hers. They blamed each other. They betrayed each other on the stand. They destroyed whatever twisted love they had shared in a desperate attempt to save themselves. It didn't work. Derek Morrison was convicted of attempted murder and conspiracy. He was sentenced to 22 years. Brianna Okafor was convicted of the same charges. She received 25 years, the extra time due to her role in planning and her betrayal of a family member. I watched as they were led away in handcuffs. Derek looked at me as he passed, his eyes full of tears. "Vivian, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I never meant." "Don't," I said. "Don't say my name. Don't pretend you're sorry. Don't act like you didn't make tea while I watched, knowing it was poisoned. You wanted me dead. You just didn't want to get caught." He had nothing to say to that. Brianna didn't look at me at all. She stared straight ahead as she was led out, her face a mask of cold fury. She blamed me, I realized. Even now, even after everything, she blamed me for surviving. My mother flew in from Nigeria for the aftermath. She had retired there after my father's death, returning to the country they had both loved, building a school in the village where she was born. She walked through my house, the house where I had almost died, the house I was planning to sell, and held me while I cried. "My daughter, my precious daughter, you survived. I almost didn't, Mama, but you did. That's what matters. They were going to kill me, Derek and Brianna, together, for money. I know. How do I trust anyone again? How do I move forward knowing that the people closest to me wanted me dead?" My mother held my face in her hands. "You move forward by remembering who you are. You are Vivian Okafor, daughter of Chukwuemeka and Ada Ora Okafor. We came to this country with nothing and built something extraordinary. We survived things that should have destroyed us. And you will survive this too. How? By being stronger than your fear. By being wiser than your pain. By choosing to live fully, love carefully, and never let anyone make you feel small again. I'm scared, Mama. I know, baby. But fear is not weakness. Fear is wisdom. It tells you to pay attention. It tells you to protect yourself. It tells you that your life is precious and worth defending. I defended myself by trusting the wrong people. You defended yourself by surviving. By calling your doctor when something felt wrong. By listening when she told you to stay away. By gathering evidence and fighting back. She smiled through her tears. Your father would be so proud of you. I miss him. I miss him too. Every day. But he's still with us, in the company he built, in the values he taught us, in the strength he passed down to you. Do you think he knew? About Brianna. I think he suspected something. That's why the will was written the way it was. He wanted to protect you, even from beyond the grave. He always protected me. And now you protect yourself. That's what growing up means, becoming your own guardian, your own champion, your own fierce defender. We held each other for a long time. And slowly, I began to believe that I might actually be okay. A year after the trial, I was sitting in a coffee shop in downtown Asheville when a woman approached my table. "Excuse me, are you Vivian Okafor?" I tensed, immediately on guard. "Who's asking?" "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you." The woman sat down across from me, uninvited but not threatening. "My name is Angela Richards. I'm a journalist. I've been following your story. I don't give interviews. I know, and I'm not asking for one. I just wanted to meet you." "Why?" "Because what you survived is important. Because there are other women out there in similar situations, being poisoned by people they trust, their deaths being planned by those who claim to love them. And most of them don't have doctors who catch it in time. Most of them don't survive. I said nothing. I'm writing a book about intimate partner violence and financial abuse. Your story is part of a larger pattern, wealthy women being targeted by spouses and family members who see them as obstacles to inheritance rather than human beings. I don't want to be a case study. I understand. But I wanted you to know that what you did surviving, fighting back, making sure they were held accountable, it matters. It gives hope to other women who might be in danger. I thought about her words. What would you want from me? If I agreed to participate, just your story, in your own words, with full approval over anything that gets published. I'll think about it. That's all I ask. She left her card on the table and walked away. I looked at it for a long time. Then I picked it up and put it in my purse. Maybe telling my story could help someone else. Maybe my survival could mean something beyond my own life. Maybe that was how I would heal, by turning my pain into purpose. If this story resonates with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment telling me where you're watching from and whether you've ever had someone you trusted turn out to be dangerous. Like and subscribe for more stories about survival, justice, and the power of listening to your instincts. Don't go home. Go somewhere public. That's what my doctor said when she called about my blood work. Why? My husband is sweet. Not to your blood work. They found antifreeze in my system. Someone was poisoning me slowly, making it look like natural kidney failure. I asked who would do this. She said a name. And I finally understood why my sister was at my house yesterday. She made me tea. She watched me drink it. She smiled. Because she and my husband had been planning my death for 8 months. The emails told the whole story. The first dose is in. She's been tired. It's working. By next month, it should look like natural. And the last one. Then we wait 6 months, get married, and inherit everything. My husband and my sister. In love. Planning my murder. For $68 million and each other. Derek got 22 years. Brianna got 25. I got my life back. Don't go home. The 6 words that saved me. The 6 words that destroyed them.